Guys, what's up? I just got back from the Retro Exchange, which had its inaugural year in Cleveland today. And it really wasn't a huge convention. It was pretty small. It was held in a church. And I want to say there was maybe about 15 to 20 vendors there. Really didn't get a count, but saw some familiar faces. Saw Cerulean Games, Capital Games was there, Forever Games was there. So it was good to see some familiar faces and met some new friends. So I went there with a huge box of trade. Get off the bed. And about $250 in cash, and I walked out only spending about $150 out of my pocket. So lots of trade, but some of this trade was some heavy hitters. I had a Silent Hill, Obscure, Fatal Frame 3, and I also had a Rule of Rose that I traded for a very high profile game on Nintendo, which we'll get to at the end. But I was able to trade off every single game I had. So I was very, very pleased about that. And gotta let the cat out. So in the end, I feel I did really well. And I'll go ahead and start. First game I got, I picked this up from Cerulean Games. This is The Pirates of Darkwater. Now, this was a TV show that I used to watch all the time when I was a kid, and hardly anybody knows about it, but I have been looking for this game forever, and really, really pleased to find it. Made me a pretty good deal on it, so really happy to add this one to the collection. One of the few games I actually paid cash for is a very nice, complete in the box Lightning Force, which for those of you who are fans of the Thunder Force series, this is Thunder Force 4. And as you can see, complete in the box. Manual's got a little to it, but the cartridge itself is very nice, very shiny label. So, and still has the hang tab, which really made me happy. This next game I've been looking for a while on Genesis, and I traded a bunch of stuff to Forever Games, and he had this, and this is probably the cleanest copy I've ever seen of it. And that's Mega Turrican. Pretty hard to find. Great, great game. If you're a fan of the Turrican series, you have to have this. And this is hands down my favorite of the whole entire series. Some people think that Super Turrican 2 is the best one to have, but I prefer this one. And again, super clean. Very, very nice cart. Manual has that slight crease on the bottom, but no rips or tears. Again, very nice addition to the collection. I did trade for a Yoshi Story on N64 with the manual, and I also traded for a Ghost and Goblins on Nintendo. Ended up going to a game store in Columbus afterwards, and he gave me the same amount in trade as what I paid in cash for him. Actually, he gave me a little bit more. So I picked up the Sega Smash Pack on Dreamcast. Main reason I got this, number one, I don't have Streets of Rage 2 or Columns. I traded off my Golden Axe, so it's nice to have that. I traded off Vectorman, so I got that back. It's a good way to play Phantasy Star 2 without having to break out my cartridge. Altered Beast is always fun. Shining Force is another game I have stashed away, so if I ever want to play all that stuff, it's all right here on one disc. So I got that. And I'm a sucker for Resident Evil, so I got Code Veronica on Dreamcast. I have this on PS2, but I actually prefer this version just a little bit more. I think the graphics look better on it. Excuse me, I've been up since 5:30 this morning. Another game I picked up, not in the best of condition, but cut me a deal on it, and I can at least clean up this writing so it doesn't look too bad. I mean, that top label, man, it's just cosmetic. But I got Star Trek 25th Anniversary Edition. I traded for this one, and he cut me a good price on it. He was going to charge me $14, Capital Games, but he picked it up, took a look at it, and dropped it significantly to accommodate the condition problem. So, not a bad addition. It's a fun game if you've never played it. I got this for Forever Games, Kirby's Adventure. I also got this in my trade with Forever Games, Donkey Kong Classics. It says Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. together on it. Did another trade. Don't know what the guy's name was. I think he was just a collector selling some stuff. But I picked up Joe and Mac. Pretty clean. And this one came with the manual, which was pretty nice to have. It's got some damage on it, but the price he gave me was right. He had $30 on it, and I negotiated with him, and he came down a bit on it. Got to the end. I still had some stuff. Some cheapy stuff here and there. So, did a trade. And I picked up Donkey Kong at the very end of the show. Which I know with Donkey Kong Classics, I already have this. But, it's one of the black box games. And I love these labels. It's very, very clean. So I'm really happy to have this. I found this, Color Dinosaur. This is kind of a rare game. It was there. The price was right on it. Very nice condition. So I went ahead and picked it up. I might use this for trade later on. I'm not sure. So I'm going to play around with it. Maybe my kid will like it or something. But it's still pretty cool to have. It's not one you see every day. And then I got this strategy guide for Ys Dark and the Fishdom on PS2. It's one of my favorite RPGs, and I love having a strategy guide for it. It's very clean. No rips, no tears, no fading. Games are falling. And then the last thing I picked up, so I traded my Rule of Rose for, and I was very, very glad to make this trade. Cerulean Games. I contacted Joe. We talked back and forth, and I straight up traded my copy of Rule of Rose for this bad boy. I've been wanting this game for about 4 years. And it's got a little damage there on the top, but I'll live with it for the price he gave with me on it. Just keep in mind that this game can fetch anywhere from $190 to $220 with a really clean label. And to have this, even with that, and to do a straight trade for Rule of Rose, yeah, that was a killer deal. So I was really, really happy to get this. So altogether, not the biggest haul, but definitely not bad for only paying $150 out of pocket. And it was a good start to the convention circuit. For an inaugural show, it was actually really well put together. I was really pleased with it. Everybody was really nice. We got there about an hour early. And the guy told us, he's like, hey, I can't let anybody in right now, but he suggested a couple places to hang out. So we went down the street, hung out for a little bit, came back, and had a lot of fun. So hopefully this show did well enough that they can do it again. And I'd love to go back next year, maybe as a vendor. Table prices are only $10. You can't beat that. So, yeah. This was my pickups. Next pickup video will be from Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Midwest Gaming Classic. So, until then.